and thank you for having me here. I hope I'll do full justice to the next 25 minutes that you'll be spending with me, and I hope I'll make it entertaining. Today we will be talking about accessibility, and what a time to talk about accessibility. These are some of the headlines of some top newspapers this past week. With the European Accessibility Act coming into effect on 28 June 2025, all the websites need to be accessibility compliant. Otherwise, huge fines will be imposed. So we have news from CNN, Times of India, Economic Times, flooded with accessibility guidelines. Accessibility today is no longer an option, but you need to have it in your application. So now accessibility is no longer a nice-to-have feature, but a need-to-have one. But first, hi everyone, I'm Navya Agarwal, a senior software developer at Adobe, and I have never been more excited to talk about the recent advances in Gen AI and how we can leverage AI to bridge the gap between accessibility and technology. But just a disclaimer, I'm no expert in accessibility. I'm just a silly software developer. All the opinions and all my learnings are something that I have gathered over these years, and I hope I'll be able to help you with those learnings. Over the next 25 minutes, we will be seeing this interaction between AI and accessibility. We will be seeing some of the powers of AI tools. We will also be seeing some of its shortcomings, and most importantly, we will be seeing the role of humans in this journey. Great. Let's first understand what accessibility is, and this gives us the accessibility equation. Disability is equal to people into barriers. It's very important and crucial that whenever we are talking about accessibility, we talk about in terms of barriers. Just imagine that there's a person in a wheelchair. This is the most common example we give whenever we are talking about accessibility, right? So if the person is trying to enter a building which does not have an elevator or it does not have a ramp and it only has stairs. So the problem is not the person in a wheelchair, but the way the building has been designed to not accommodate a person in a wheelchair. It's really important whenever we are talking about anything when it comes to accessibility or disability, we make those barriers equal to zero so that the disabilities are also equal to zero. And this gives us that whenever we are building, just imagine that you have to build without barriers. Accessibility is not just something that is, you might be thinking that it might be something just that is related to a person in a wheelchair or a person who is blind or has some vision disability. But it's also related to all the use cases that we see in our day-to-day life. So for example, in case you have got a broken arm and you are trying to open a door as well as at the same time trying to access your phone, you'll be finding it difficult, right? Or imagine if someone over here is passionate about riding bicycles, and I know we are talking about winters, and Bangalore doesn't have winters, but in case you are in a place which has winters and you are wearing gloves, and you have to at the same time navigate your phone, but you won't be able to do that. I talked to a lot of fathers today, and I'm sure there would be a lot of moms here in the audience as well. And let's assume that you are carrying your baby in one hand and you have a grocery bag in another hand and you are trying to open a door or you are trying to use a phone. That limits your ability to use a phone. Or maybe this is, I'm sure, 100%, we all must have experienced this use case that you're carrying grocery bags in both the hands and you are trying to use a phone, which will make you difficult, right? So accessibility is simply about giving access to everyone. But let's see how we can make use of technology and how we can use and make sure that the web is accessible. But before that, I have a short video for you all that I would like you to see. Okay, the internet might be slow, but yes.
Hi, I'm Cece, and I'm 47 years old, and I've been blind since birth. I've been using technology for many, many years now for almost any aspect of my life. Once you're heavily dependent on technology, an inaccessible website with poor interaction with a screen reader can make things much more difficult. Well, you know those colorful ads on the internet with beautiful women walking down the beach and it says 50% off? I'm sure you've seen those. Well, I haven't. And that is because these pictures, these ads are usually unlabeled. So there's no alternate text to describe the ad. And there's no text to describe the scene and to tell me about this. And so my screen reader would just say graphic, graphic, graphic. It wouldn't read me the text, and I wouldn't know about this offer. And then I wouldn't be able to buy those beautiful bikinis. You know, it's really funny how sometimes merchants don't seem to be so interested in my money. But once you go on a website...
Great. So let's embark on this journey and help Sissy buy those beautiful bikinis. Let's do it. Show of hands, yes? Awesome. But first, let's address the monster in the room, WCAG, which stands for Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Don't worry, I won't be talking about this today. I'm sure everyone over here would have heard about it. But I want you to focus on something. Do you see that scroll bar over there, that tiny, innocent scroll bar? And you see that page going on and on and on. So this documentation right here, it feels that navigating through this documentation feels like you're navigating through IKEA with no map in hands. You are completely lost, basically, right? This page is so huge that it even needs a faster elevator as compared to Burj Khalifa. In case you are taking photos, just wait. This is the actual WCAG page in full dimension and in comparison to the buildings that you see on the left-hand side of the screen. But jokes apart, a huge thanks to the W3C committee as well as the WCAG committee who has built this comprehensive page that helps us to guide through accessibility. Thank you. So WCAG has come up with 4 principles whenever you are designing an accessible website. And it goes with the acronym POUR, where P stands for perceivable, O stands for operable, U stands for understandable, and R stands for robust. So whenever you are designing a website or a web component and want to make it accessible, we need to focus on these 4 principles. So just a line description, what perceivable means. That you are able to click through the entire application. You are able to read the labels. You are able to see the things. Operable, which means that, for example, if you are on a button, you are able to click it. For example, if you have you are navigating the website through keyboards, you are able to navigate it. Understandable, as in the text should be not too small, not too big. There should be enough color contrast that you are able to understand what the website is saying. And robust, which means that you need to make sure that whenever you are designing an accessible website, it's building across different screen sizes. I think yesterday someone in the talk mentioned that we have approximately 10,000 plus screen sizes that we need to make sure that whenever we are designing a website. So that's where the robust part comes in. Great. Now let's get to the actual topic, which is building accessible UI using GitHub Copilot. And today we will be focusing on 2 things. Of course, one is accessibility, and the second is GitHub Copilot. And this is the use case that we will be describing. So I come from Adobe Express team. Okay, before that, a show of hands for people who have used Adobe Express. Okay. What about Canva, guys? Oh my God, this is not good. And this is recorded. I should not be doing this comparison. Okay. I should shut up and get going. So this is a screenshot from Adobe Express app. And I hope after this talk, seeing that how much concerned and considerate we are about accessibility, Canva users switch to Adobe Express users. Nothing against Canva though, but yes. So today we will be designing this reusable component. I'm sure all of you must have designed reusable components in your life, be it tooltip, be it a color picker, be it a date picker, etc. What you see on your screen is some thumbnails from the Adobe Express application that we use. These thumbnails can be selected, they can be deselected, they can be checked, etc. And we want to make sure that these are accessible. So I started with something that you see on the left side of this screen, and which is a completely dumb, non-accessible UI component. And I bluntly asked GitHub Copilot to suggest improvements for accessibility. And the first improvement it suggested me was replace a div with a button. Okay, accessibility solved by replacing a div with a button. Definitely a good start, but does that solve our accessibility? If yes, we won't be having this talk, everyone is happy, and you guys can go home. Thank you for attending. But of course, I don't think so that would be all. But let's see what GitHub Copilot suggested us and see when we turn on our screen reader, what really happens.
Thumbnail, button, main.
Can we increase the video? Can we increase the volume, please?
Thumbnail, button, main. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control, Option, Space, Thumbnail, button. You are currently on a button. To click this button, press Control, Option, Thumbnail, button. You are currently on a button. To click the thumbnail, button. You are currently on a button. To click this button, thumbnail, button. You are currently on a button. To click this.
Okay, so we just turned on this screen reader on this row of thumbnails, incorporating the suggestion that GitHub Copilot gave us, which was replace a div with a button. And all you hear is button, 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 and button. So for someone who is visually impaired and is using this website, he or she wouldn't know that what these labels are. It's not announcing anything. It's just saying that it's a bunch of buttons which are laid on my website. Go figure it out on your own. But is that enough when it comes to accessibility? Of course not. We all know the answer to this, right? So that's when I told GitHub Copilot that what you told me, and when I turned on my screen reader, all I hear is button. It didn't tell me that whether it's selected or not, that it's of type checkbox, etc. And this is basically me complaining to GitHub Copilot agent. Okay, I have a screenshot for this. So that's the prompt that I gave GitHub Copilot, and it gave me the response to slap ARIA attributes on top of it. It told me to add a role checkbox. It also told me to add ARIA checked, ARIA labeled by, tab index 0. Okay. So basically, on top of replacing a div with a button, I am asked to snap 4 attributes extra to make this small, tiny component accessible. Great. Let's try it out. Why not? So I have a demo now with this suggestion of GitHub Copilot being incorporated, and let's see what it does for us.
Link, button, link, skip to sidebar, balloon, uncheck, checkbox, main. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space. Sunglasses, uncheck, checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space. Cat, uncheck, checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space.
Okay. This certainly looks better than the first one. It's announcing the labels, it's doing the keyboard navigation properly, it's telling me whether the state is selected or not, whether that particular thumbnail, correct? And this leads us to our first learning of writing a good prompt. Focus on being clear on what we want from it. You need to tell your agent or your GitHub Copilot or Cursor, whatever tool you are using, and actually describe the use case. You cannot be ambiguous saying that, oh, I just want an accessible website. You need to be elaborate in what you are telling GitHub Copilot agent. Okay. So now when I was learning about accessibility and how I can leverage AI agents, I found this really cool prompt by GitHub folks, by GitHub team, that how to make sure that your website is accessible and use this prompt in your agent to make sure and to educate it. You can find this particular post on the link that I have already shared. So this prompt basically tells GitHub Copilot that use the YCAG guidelines AAA. use the W3C.org website, use the Developer Mozilla website to make sure and learn, and we are telling the GitHub Copilot agent that learn from these resources and then come up with an accessible solution. Okay, let's try it out. So this is us telling, just me copy pasting this particular prompt on the GitHub Copilot agent. Yes, we have the video running now. And this time, it told me to replace the button with an input element and use type checkbox. So from a div to a button, then slapping some 4 or 5 ARIA attributes, this time we are asked to use an input component as well as snap in some particular role. Okay. This is interesting. GitHub Copilot giving me 4 or 5 iterations of a small component, and I'm again and again telling it to make it accessible. But let's try it out.
Link. Skip entering components thumbnail button. Multi-select frame. Thumbnail balloon. Uncheck. Checkbox. Main. You are currently on a checkbox. To select thumbnail sunglasses. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space. Check. Thumbnail sunglasses. Checkbox. Uncheck. Thumbnail sunglasses. Checkbox. Thumbnail cat. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Control, Option, Down, Control, Off. Control, Option, Down, Control, Off. Thumbnail dog. Uncheck. Checkbox. Check. Thumbnail dog. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To the thumbnail picture. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently...
Okay. Awesome. This looks good. I know maybe screen reader is not making a difference between the first result, between the previous result and this result, but at least now we are confident that we are using reliable sources to make sure that our component is accessible. It's just giving us some confidence. And this leads us to the second recipe of a good prompt, that we need to make sure that we are using reliable sources for our answers. We need to educate our AI agent that these are the resources that you need to refer to. We cannot just go blindly and tell it that make this component accessible. Awesome. Let's move ahead. And this is a video that I've already recorded, so you will hear the video talking now.
As you can see that this reusable component also takes it an attribute disabled. So I decided why not to try it out with one of the components, and let's see how screen reader reads it. So I ended up adding a disable true attribute to one of the thumbnails in the list, and let's just run our storybook and see what the screen reader says.
Voiceover on link. Act control. Change hide clear. Zoom enable change this go link. Copy link. Skip thumbnail balloon. Uncheck. Checkbox. Main. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space. Thumbnail sunglasses. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. Thumbnail cat. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, thumbnail picture. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space.
Okay, in case you guys noticed, it only announced 4 thumbnails and not 5. Did anyone notice that? Okay, so we were paying attention. Good. We are not asleep. Okay. So even after incorporating the prompt that GitHub Copilot team told us to do, and we were assuming and we were confident that now this particular component is fully accessible, but it still missed out this edge case scenario. It didn't announce the 4th box, which is dog, which we can see it's a bit blurred, as disabled or saying anything. So someone who is visually impaired, he or she would feel that there are only 4 pictures or 4 photos on the website and not 5, right? So, and this leads us to the third learning of a good prompt, that we can, even if we are trying our level best, we are confident, etc., we need to anticipate errors. And we need to make sure these edge case scenarios is something that we tell our agent to incorporate. We cannot just simply assume that the AI agent will be taking care of these scenarios for us. So let's go ahead and educate our agent again for this particular scenario. So this is me just complaining to my GitHub Copilot agent that when I ran the above code on the screen reader, it only announced 4 thumbnails and not 5, which means that it's something wrong, right? So what do we need to do when it's a disabled thumbnail? And this time it came with the solution, use ARIA disabled. Okay, it could have told me about this earlier, but no, it did not. When I told or educated my GitHub Copilot agent that you need to make sure that the disabled thumbnail is also announced, it came up with the solution of using ARIA disabled. So let's try adding this and incorporating this particular solution and see what is being announced by the screen reader now.
Voiceover on QuickTime Player. Chrome. Thumbnail balloon. Check. Checkbox. Uncheck. Thumbnail balloon. Check. Thumbnail sunglasses. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. To select or deselect the thumbnail cat. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. Check. Thumbnail cat. Checkbox. Uncheck. Thumbnail cat. Checkbox. Thumbnail dog. Dimmed. Uncheck. Checkbox. You are currently on a checkbox. This item is dimmed.
Okay, awesome. So this time, if you noticed, it announced the checkbox or that particular thumbnail as dimmed, meaning to say that there's something on the screen, but it's something that you cannot select, as if it's disabled. So GitHub Copilot did the right thing, but after 4 iterations maybe. And this is what is leading us to the last recipe of a good prompt, which is iterate and refine, that we need to keep telling and educating our agent and telling it about all the edge case scenarios as well as all the use cases that we wanted to understand. Okay, so after doing 4 iterations, we now hopefully have a fully accessible web component. It's announcing the labels, it's describing the images, as well as we are good with keyboard navigation. Awesome. So GitHub Copilot made a lot of errors today, as we all saw in the 4 demos that we just saw, right? The first problem is false confidence. We are seeing in the industry that when it comes to accessible websites, agents are not really performing well. They may make the result in websites that are not proper fit for people with disabilities. And the most weird thing is that, for example, if you have good intentions of writing an accessible website, I'm being told 2 minutes are remaining. I'll just take 4 more minutes, so please bear with me. The most problem is that someone who has good intentions of writing a good accessible websites, but does not have the confidence or the skill set, may feel that I'm making a website accessible, but he may be not. And the second problem is lack of training data. We all think of making performant websites. We all think of making websites that do not have memory leaks, but we never think of making websites that are accessible. So we need to start writing accessible websites so that the training data is improved and AI agents can learn. Okay, I'll go quickly over these slides, but we also have an opportunity to increase and make use of GitHub Copilot agents as an opportunity and leverage AI to improve accessibility. First is definitely, of course, we need to craft effective prompts. Second is strong testing plans. You can use Xcode, Playwright. Okay, I'm going fast, don't worry. And the third is manual testing. Make sure that you have humans in the loop. See, accessibility is about people, and we cannot automate people like we automate code, right? We need to be empathetic. We need to feel, and that's why human involvement is really, really very necessary. And this gives us this concept of shift left. Make sure whenever you are talking about accessibility, it's not something that you can snap at the end, and it's not just a developer's job. Make sure that you are talking to your design team, that how this particular design or something is accessible compliant. Make sure when your product manager is narrating you that story, you ask him or her the questions that, will it be accessible? What all color contrast things do I need to take into consideration? What all screen size do I need to take into consideration? And of course, developers will be doing their job and quality people will be doing their job. I would leave you just with one thought today. Accessibility isn't more work. The work was incomplete. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me here. And this is Neon.